evening. Good evening. Good evening. You hear me? You hear me now? Mike. Hello? Mike. Okay. Okay, got it. Good evening. Village University Park Board meeting Tuesday, September 26th, 7 o'clock, 90 Town Center is called to order. A roll call, please. Trustee Williams. Here. Trustee Wilson. Here. Trustee Brooks. Sorry, Paul, you won't be here tonight. Trustee McMullen.
Present.
Trustee Payton.
Here.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Here.
And Mayor Cummings. Present. You join me in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For all. Oh, I didn't print them. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes? I didn't print them.
So moved.
Moved by, September 12th. Moved by Trustee Payton, second by Trustee McMullen. All in favor? I'm sorry, roll call.
Madam Mayor, is this just September 12th or for all of them?
For September 12th. Oh, the ones previous that we got last board meeting?
Yeah, we've got 5 sets.
Yes, I'm sorry, August 15th, September 1st, July 11th, and August 8th. And, yeah, including today. I'm sorry.
Pardon me?
That's inclusive. Is that all agreeable with the board?
Yes.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Wilson.
Abstain.
Trustee Brooks. Trustee McMullen. Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Cummings.
Abstain. I didn't review the ones we just got today. I'm sorry. Okay. General public comments, please.
Visitors are always welcome to all public meetings of the Board of Trustees. To comment on an issue, persons wishing to speak will be called upon by the mayor during section E, general public comment. The interested party will stand, identify themselves, and make their comment. In order to give proper consideration to all items on this agenda, the mayor will limit participants in a debate and will close off protracted, repetitive, irrelevant, or abusive remarks.
That's it.
Thank you. Keith Griffin.
Good evening. I have a concern. They had brought this matter up. Myself.
Can't hear you.
The mic went out again. They had brought this matter up before, but all of a sudden I see they done put it on the back burner. IRH did we instructed IRH to do a report for us while I was on the board, and I'm wondering what happened to the report. It said over the past 2 years, it was $14.7 million that were moved out of the TIF, and the 2 trustees up there along with myself, I know, well, 3, but 2 would agree, Trustees Payton and Oscar Brown, that the trustees had no signing power. Only the CEO, which is the mayor, the village manager, and the finance director. So I want to know what happened to the $14.7 million CEO. Also, I'm hoping that Cityscape project, I'm hoping that will go out for bid. and that nothing falls on the taxpayer, where the taxpayer doesn't have to pay for anything on that. We've had a number of people that come in and try to take advantage of the village. So I'm hoping that if they say they're gonna build it, they, meaning the group that you had, would build it, and nothing falls on the taxpayer. 3, I'm wondering about the new water rates. What are the water rates gonna be up in Aqua? Aqua have already bent us over. But they don't have a problem giving to your campaign. So I want to know, and the people in the village want to know, why are the rates going up and how much are they going to go up? 4, I'd like to thank Trustees Payton and Oscar Brown for standing up and for bringing stuff to the attention, even though you're on the minority side. Thank you.
I don't know, I'll let someone else address that 14 million. I have no idea what you're talking about on that. Would you address that question?
So as far as the forensic audit and the reconciliation of the tips, that is still going on. IRH has a projected completion date of December of 2017 when all that will be completed. So that is still going on based on the contractual agreement that was passed by the board back in April.
Okay, I just want to say this because I don't want.
We can't go debatable, he has to
I
answer.
just want to ask a question.
Excuse me, he can't be debatable, he has to answer your question. Could you respect
I
that
just want to
answer? We're not
ask, I just want to
finished.
ask another question.
No.
It was $14.7 million. They gave a report. They came and gave, but yet they gave 2 reports. Trustees Clayton and Oscar Brown was there. She was there. Paula was there. You were there. They gave a report of $14.7 million was taken out of the tip. You know, it's not that I'm making this up. They got it on tape. So what happened to the $14.7 million?
So what you're saying is accurate. The village will have full accounting of the transfers and everything that was done in the tip accounts by December of 2017. So that is still in process and being worked on. We want to be able to give the public and the board a true amount. 14.7 was an estimate. Could be higher, could be lower. As far as Cityscape is concerned, the village has not done anything to intervene in the bidding process of Cityscape. There have been no documents done, any transactions done through the Office of Village Manager, and I believe, pretty sure, through our board members, there has not been anything done in regards to that. And your third question, Mr. Griffin, you can repeat that.
The water rates. We already know they're going to go
On the
up.
agenda today, there is a petition to intervene. If the board agrees for the village attorney to file a petition to intervene to stop or attempt to stop the rate increase for Aqua.
I just want to say this. See, folks in the village don't know. Once they put it out, or they had this little meeting here, they come to the village. They've already been to the Illinois Commerce Commission. They already been there. So the rate's going through. We just want to know how much that is.
So the rates have not went through. The Illinois Commerce Commission has been notified.
Okay.
They have not made a final decision, and municipalities can still file a petition to intervene because a final decision has not been made.
All right.
So as far as a final rate increase, village will, if the board approves, the attorney will be directed to do a petition to intervene. At that point, the village will do a document stating why they feel the rate increase should not occur. And at the end of the day, the ICC will make the final decision.
Thank you.
And also, just a second, and also, slandering is not necessary, but Aqua has been mailing out for over 2 years for people to respond. As a matter of fact, almost 3 years ago, Trustee Paula Wilson was knocking on doors and giving people forms to complete that came from CCC to complete, to contest to the increase. That was almost 3.5 years ago. And some people responded, some people didn't, but nevertheless, that was sent in the mail. We have nothing to do, as I said many times, that the village had an opportunity to buy this water company for $1, never did it. So Aqua is something that the past history is given, and we inherit. Okay.
Madam
No, I'm sorry, just a second. Trustee Wilson.
I got Williams. Okay, I wanted to let you know that.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Your mic.
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to let you know that myself and Theo Brooks, we have put a petition in to stop this rate increase with the manager. Okay? So I was on it too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Keith, sorry about that. And I was going to wait till we got to this section in regards to the petition to intervene. I would like council to look up my prior testimony at the last rate increase. I believe it happened sometime between 2007 and 2011. Also, during that petition to intervene, I'd like for you to allow for oral testimony and let me know when I could come so I could also testify again on behalf of the Village University Park.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Next is, just a second here, Ms. Mary Trust.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is awkward for me. I gotta be on both sides of the camera. Okay. I come here tonight and I am asking that we keep in mind that we elected 8 people to run the government in this town, and that we do not have a mayoral form of government, or we have a village form of government. And we should perform and govern accordingly. If we want to change it, there are procedures to change that. Last time, young lady came up, the lady came up and asked, what did you do? Each one of the elected officials. And I thought it was a very good question to ask, and how brave of her. These meetings go on over and over, 4 hours, 3 hours, and you have very little on the agenda. You bring up every little thing. These meetings come out to be almost like a political forum. These are supposed to be a business meeting of the village. We're not supposed to be doing all of this political forum business here. And then, as far as transparency and the residents having input, they need to have input on what you're voting on. If there is a resolution, we sit here like a bump on the log because we don't know what's in the resolution. We cannot get it in advance. Case in point, FC, FD, and FE. What are these things? I'm requesting that someone read to the public so they can comment on what you are doing. And I can really appreciate Trustee Payton. He goes down and he tries to explain what's in this paragraph, now in the next paragraph, and the next paragraph. If you would read it in advance, then maybe I can have some kind of opinion about it. If I don't know what's in there, I'm just sitting here. I cannot chime in on it at all because I don't know what's in it. And editorial comments is not necessary. I'm not going to slander anyone. And I'm trying to, throwing out these extra editorial comments is just not necessary. We want you to take care of this business, and we want to go home.
Thank you. As a matter, okay. As far as, that's why we were discussing do the consensus type of meetings so that it's like a workshop in the beginning. We talked about that to a length last time, and that way you would know everything in advance what we're talking about, and at the next meeting it would just be a straight meeting, 1, 2, 3, 4, but you could have a full explanation of each item, what we're talking about, what it entails to the fullest, and everyone will have feedback back and forth. And then the next meeting everybody will know, so once it's on the agenda, when we do the FE, which will be explained tonight, you'll know exactly what you're doing. It'll just be a straight vote, and it should take no more than 30 minutes. But we are trying to do a consensus agenda. Our clerk has been trying to embed that for over 8 years that I know of, and it's never been done. So that's why we're trying to do it now.
Okay, I
Okay,
appreciate that.
so-
I attend many meetings around the southern suburbs here, and I appreciate that, and I know how this should be done, and I went to school too. But when I go to church, I want to read right along with you.
Okay. All right, and we'll make that clear, because it's always been that since I've been up here. It's been this type of format, so we're trying to change. But
What
we-
it
okay.
has been is what we go for.
Yeah, we are. That's why we're gonna change it.
Okay,
Thank you.
tonight.
Thank you. Next person, Star Lawson.
Good evening, Board.
Evening.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you all. I'm concerned that, Mayor, you don't know anything about the 14.7 million, anything at all. That, to give that type of answer is kind of embarrassing when you're the CEO. Let's not do that to the residents. I had the opportunity to attend the Congressional Black Caucus, and I brought an overview of what happened at the caucus and the conversations that took place. And I have one of these for each of you to share the information. What I'd like to see in the future is that we might be able to take some young people. There were a lot of young people at the Congressional Black Caucus. And, you know, we said that we were going to have a junior trustee board. For years, it has never happened. That needs to happen. We need to make those type of investments in our young people. We were represented well. Congresswoman Robin Kelly was there. Danny Davis was there. Bobby Rush was there. The players were all there. And the conversations that were taking place affects us as an African American people on the global scale. You'll get an overview here, and I also want to encourage you to go online because you can also view some of those sessions that were talked about, the forums that were held there. And it's something that can engage you to come back to your community, not just go, but to come back to your community and implement some of the things that are talked about at the caucus. We've never seen that happen. The mayor has gone, the mayor and Paula went in 2015. We see no evidence. You go to conferences, you go, you learn, we see no evidence. I've never seen anyone bring anything back to share with the people in the community. This is what we mean by, sticking together, working for your community. These are the type of things that you do. So I just want to take the time to share this with you, and hopefully you'll get something out of this. You'll go online. But when you talk about the African American community, you can get a lot by going to the Congressional Black Caucus, and I want to invite all of you to go.
Thank you. Gina Williams.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I first want to express condolences to the Davis family. We lost a really great person, Rob Davis, in our community, and my prayers are with the family on that loss. I think it was a tremendous loss. It's affected so many people. So I hope that everyone does come out for whatever memorial, whatever services they have, and that they support this family in their time of grief. I also want to, I just want to thank Chief Pate ABM, I think he's doing an awesome job. I can't say that enough on how well he has been doing since he took that seat. I mean, I'm just saying, he's really doing a great job. I also want to thank Katrina Johnson. She's not here tonight, but I appreciate when she came here the last time and she gave that report on the trees, the devastation. It was something that we needed to hear, and she brought the extension group with her. What was disappointing to me was the department head, who's not here tonight, Mr. Richardson, didn't really thank her, and I thought that was really, I was like, wait a minute, this woman did this research. She's new to our village. She saw a need, she met the need. She didn't use any bully tactics. She came well-educated with facts and information, still looking into ways to get funding, and I think she should have been congratulated. The mayor and some of the other trustees thanked her, but I would think the department head would have taken the time to thank her. Now, maybe he's done it behind closed doors, but I just think that at that time, he should have taken the time to thank you. Because to be present, but not to be present, that bothers me. That bothers me when other people here, elected officials, department heads, are disconnected. I see it's great, we're getting ready to start BidWiz and some other things, but let's not forget the youth. Let's remember them. Let's come up with some programs and things to keep them engaged. And I know for a fact that when the mayor travels, that she has brought back information of fundings and other things that's happening. So that is not true that she doesn't, because every time she comes back, she gives a full report of where she's been, what's happening, what she's trying to do. So she is trying to move the village forward. And I'm really tired of the $14.7 million that we keep hearing about. At one time it was 80 million, 44 million, all these different. We're already paying these people, what, 100 and whatever amount, $650,000. So let them do the job. She shouldn't have to answer that question. If the money was moved or transferred, believe you me, it's not in a personal bank account. It was used to keep this village viable and moving. So let's not come here and act like somebody's living house to house when they're not. Because there's other money that came up missing that we still never heard, where certain funds for athletics and things, we still don't know where it's at. So until you can come forward and show your proof, I would advise certain people to keep their mouth closed on these issues. And I just want to say to all of you all that we need to continue to work together. The negativeness in this community is just terrible. We got to figure out ways to bond together and get things done without all the acid and all the venom that's being spewed out. We got to come together. So let's try to make things work.
Thank you. That's all that we have as far as public comments. We'll move on. Next item. Action items, unfinished business, motion to approve the settlement in the case number 16 of BCG 11056 in the amount of $10,000. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Johnson, second by trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, who's the plaintiff?
Corey Browder.
Okay.
Who was,
We discussed this before, right?
Correct.
Okay.
who was the plaintiff? It wasn't clear.
Who's the plaintiff that we're selling with?
Corey Browder.
And this one we discussed before, right?
The board has discussed, that's correct.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Any other questions?
I have one.
You want to expedite the meetings, and we can't go back and forth, then yes, I'll accept it. Yes,
I
ma'am.
want to know what is this about? It's
A lawsuit.
$10,000. I'm a taxpayer.
Yeah, no problem, because we had one on the last one, and someone asked it, and it was who was that last week? Was it the same?
The same one.
Oh, it was the same Page?
Yes, Page.
Okay.
I think it'd be all right to say who the plaintiff is and a general idea. So, we're selling with, his name's Court Brewer. Browner, and he's a plaintiff in a police brutality case with Cook County Gang Enforcement Unit or Cook County Task Force and University, in which he was a member of that task force at the time. The plaintiff is Corey Browner.
Let them go back.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So back in 2014, the village was working with the Cook County Sheriff's Office in providing extra support for the Cook County Sheriff's Office Gang Enforcement Unit. Officer was signed to the Gang Enforcement Unit. The Cook County Sheriff's Office got sued. The person that sued, a University Park police officer, was with the Cook County officers at the time this person was arrested. So in order to settle the case at nuisance value and prevent the village from spending money for future defense of this, the Cook County Sheriff's Office as well as the village agreed to settle with the individual at $10,000 each. So the village is paying $10,000 and the Cook County Sheriff's Office is paying $10,000 to dispose of the case.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Aye. Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Cummings.
Aye. Thank you. A new business. FA2, motion extending the deadline for the submission of the resume for the village manager's position to October 17th. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Oscar Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Milton Payton. Questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Cummings.
Aye. Thank you. Motion authorizing the intern manager to initiate, I'm sorry, mine was point. I know for something. The process to formulate a request for proposal for the lease or sale of the Hickok Aqua Center. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Milton Payton, second. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments? Question? Yes.
So can we haven't, I don't remember discussing this, so if somebody can recollect me, I'm sorry.
Village manager?
What's the premise behind selling? I'm okay with leasing, but it says lease or sale. I'm not okay with selling unless there's a good defense for it.
Okay. So the pool has been not operational for 2 years. We're running into issues in maintaining the pool as far as security and various other issues as far as infrastructure. The longer the pool goes unused, the more likelihood we're going to start having plumbing issues with the pumps and everything. This request is just for me to work with the village attorney to formulate an RFP for lease and or sale. Now, at the end of the day, the board still makes the final decision in regards to lease and or sale of the property. We're just trying to do a solicitation to see if anybody's interested in leasing the pool and or buying the pool so it can be brought back to the board so the board can make a decision on what the disposition of the pool will be.
So if we put out an RFP and somebody, what does that say? What is the RFP?
Proposals, request for proposals.
Right, so why would do we agree on, I guess we should have some discussions. Do we agree on selling it? If it says lease or sale,
It has to be
and we put out an RFP, and I say I'm with somebody who wants to buy the pool, you put it out there for lease or sale, comes back to the board, I want to buy it, and then you guys decide you don't want to sell it. So I think maybe we should determine if we want to sell it or just lease it or both. And maybe it should be separate, because I'm not for selling it. I'm for having an organized board, getting a village manager to do the right thing. We get our monies together and we benefit from the pool, but not sell it to somebody else. If we want to lease it to minimize the integrity, the cost and integrity of the plumbing and the cement and all that, I'm all for it. RFP for leasing, not an RFP for selling one of the jewels in Regency Park. Okay.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have to say that I agree with Trustee Wilson's, Trustee Wilson's statement in regards to lease rather than selling of the pool. I think it should just be for lease as well. Also, I had a question in regards to the proposal from gym management. Is this something that we're going to do as well? I think it's a reasonable price to.
No, just Mayor and trustees, just to let you all know, me, myself, interim village manager, along with Ms. Jenkins and Public Works Director, we met with this company. This company is well known across the country as far as managing pools. And what we wanted to do is be able to give you just an idea of what it would take. Now, one of the things that they did mention is because you can't see the internal yet, because you haven't turned any water on in 2 years, this price is not in stone. It's just giving us an idea. And the reason we put on there lease with or sale is because we have not had these conversations. And again, what interim manager said is that we need to make some decisions and not go into 2018, with not having that. And unfortunately, we just got that today. So that's why you just got it. So it's just a conversation that we wanted to have with you guys. Thank you.
Just a second, please. Trustee. Trustee.
Yeah, I mean, I too favor just leasing it, but I think we need to look at the option of selling the pool if it makes economic sense. Now, just because we sell the pool, my thing is our kids need to have someplace and something to do during the summer. So whether we lease the pool and they can be a part of that, or somebody else buys the pool and they can participate, the important thing is that our kids have something to do. And the pool is a beautiful place to do it. So again, I agree with Trustee Wilson. My first inclination is to not sell the pool, but I think we need to at least keep an open mind on it, at least at this point, because this is not a decision to sell the pool. This is just a request for proposal.
Right, that's all. Right. Okay. I get it's a request. I'm sorry. I get it's a request, but if I'm out there and I see a request for proposal and I put in to buy it because you put out there for sale, I think if we're going to test and try the waters, try leasing it first and get some requests put out an RFP for leasing it out and see what the interest is. If we have no interest in leasing and it's still a burden, then get this one from Jim that we haven't had an opportunity to read yet, and discuss it a little later in detail.
Okay.
Okay, that was just
Comment right